I'm back, Jared 200. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the second lecture of the third week here. It's the same theme. All right, we're just going to continue to dive deeper into this issue of caregiving. It is, hopefully it's a happy enough responsibility, but it is, a responsibility with a significant amount of burden. Okay, don't forget CT1. Okay, all right, cool. Let's get right into it here. All right, so again, you know, part of caregiving is to say a family member gets diagnosed with cancer. You got to get them to the appointments. Part of the caregiving is going to be managing diabetes. Let's say somebody has a heart attack or stroke. Okay, it's an enormous thing in terms of time and money that you're going to have to deal with. Okay, all right. And then, of course, the numbers were astronomical. 335 million dollars, per year for Alzheimer's. For you, it could be, just a cost of 60 million plus other things that you'll have to do. 60 million, 60,000 plus other things you have to do. So it's a big deal. All right, economic implications. So you got to get prepared. But before we do that, let's just do a deep dive right into caregiving. All right. I love this photo. All right. This photo just really, really kind of articulates to me, speaks to me, the whole filial responsibilities that we have. That's my dog flipping her head over there. That's Bella. So yeah, you see growing up, on the bottom, there's the young woman with her son, and then you see up above, there's the son with his mother, okay, and the care that goes in, the demands that goes in to both of those stages in life, okay, really, really cool. All right, I thought it's really neat. So, anyways, okay, so this is the article we're going to look at. It is just kind of the shock and awe, slap you in the face kind of issues that are coming up in terms of caregiving. It's put out there by AARP, which is really, really cool. All right. So what I'm going to have you do is you just kind of click on this and it'll download. Okay. And here are the highlights. Okay. It is what it is. All right. So the caregiver support ratio is just a way of looking at everything we've talked about. Okay. People are living longer. Okay. All right. And the longer they live, the more needs they may have to maintain a happy life. Okay. You're going to be there to support them. Okay. What do we know about generations? Okay. So in our country, as is a lot of countries, whether it was Italy or Spain, okay, Japan, China, there was a decrease in the number of children that the preceding generations had, okay? So this decline in fertility, okay? So that means the burden is falling on fewer shoulders, all right? That's the caregiver support ratio, okay? So we can see that we're going to see that basically this report defines what this ratio is all about, okay, as the number of potential caregivers at this age, although the burden may be coming down at a much younger age, okay, for you guys, for each person 80 and older. And you know what? Some people in their 70s feel into this category of needing help, all right? So just using this categorization that we see right here, okay? The initial study looking at 2010, there were 7 potential caregivers, okay? That would be, children, okay? For every high-risk person that was 80 plus, okay? And that may also be a little bit more of the extended family, okay? In 2030, which is right around the corner, okay, the ratio is going to show this sharp decline, okay, of 4 to 1, okay? And then when we get 2050, as you guys are going out there, okay, 3 to 1. So fewer and fewer and fewer people, okay, in terms of being able to deal with these long-term services and supports that people require as they get older. Just something simple like getting to the grocery store. All right, so I'm living in place. I don't want to leave my house. Okay, that's my ideal. Okay, but it's kind of hard for me to get to the store. It's kind of hard for me to get to the doctor. Okay, I think the real future, my friends, is multi-generational households and multi-generational communities, where now we expand this this caregiving support network. All right. Also, it's going to be Uber doctors that will come to do primary care to individuals. We already got in a feeling during the pandemic of the possibilities, okay, in terms of DoorDash, okay, in terms of Uber Eats, and in terms of having our groceries delivered to us. So this is all kind of future. You may be required to help your older family member navigate the apps to get it done, okay? But this is a way of really, helping relieve your burden, okay? All right, so this goes through everything I was talking about, that was highlighted over there, okay? And we're going to see as the population of people over the age of 80 increases, okay, the number of people that are in this age group is going to remain flat or even decrease in size, all right? So that means the availability of potential family caregivers, okay, to coordinate these support services that we're talking about, it's just going to decline. It's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay. All right. So this, it gets into, the backbone of these services that are needed. And so you just kind of go through here and read through this stuff. We have fewer family members, okay? Growing number of frail older people, because you know what? Medicine and science is going to keep us going a lot longer, okay? So the role of the families just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding in terms of stuff I was talking about, personal care. You can get down to bathing as well, making meals, okay? And these are like a home health aid task of nursing. We also have, just chores, food, stuff like that. Okay. Alrighty. So what's the future availability look like? Okay, it looks grim. Okay, so we see this right here. Depending on the study, it's definitely for women. If you have a sister and you're a brother, the burden's going to mostly fall on the women's shoulders. And even when it comes to, let's say there's only men in your family, so you only have male children, you get married, there's a good chance that whoever the woman that you marry, if that's the route you go, the burden's going to be on them. Okay, so yeah, so these are all factors that you're looking at. So this is just kind of laying out what the issues are. Okay, and then we start looking at again economic models. Okay, in terms of this caregiving, because it is a big economic task. Okay, and then this again reiterizes what we were looking at here. So they put it out in text, and then you can just see right here. So this is the caregiver support ratio. Okay. So here we are at 2020, and we see that the numbers are going down, 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 down. So the number of people that can watch Dr. Walsh and make sure he's doing okay is going to get fewer and fewer and fewer. All right. So I'm going to turn 65 here in 2 weeks. Okay. So I'm right in the mix right here. And out here, of course, I'm going to be going into my 80s. Okay. And the number of people to support me is going down. All right. So that is a big financial dilemma. All right. So we've always seen this. This is over and over again, just the changes in population that we can project in terms of older people. Again, look at the dramatic increase in terms of the number of people in millions over the age of 80. And those are the people that need the caregiving the most. Okay. All right. So that's what this is all about. And it kind of goes all through it. So check that out. And what were you supposed to do? Okay. I forgot to tell you this, man. Obviously, we got to go down here. We got to open our quiz. All right. So I'm going to open my quiz. I'm going to begin. All right. All right. All right. So we see right here answers to the questions have already been addressed by going through that article. It's not. This is the only thing we have to do. So we don't have any associated videos for this quiz. It's kind of cool. And we come back here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back. All right, to the page. I'm going to show you again. You can open up two browsers on this. Okay. This reiterates all the problems right here, just here in this figure. Okay, so you can see the numbers. Okay, going from 4-to-1 to 3-to-1 by 2050. Okay, see the decline right here in terms of caregiver support ratio as we look at what's going to come down the pike for you guys. There's not going to be many people out there to help you guys out, just to let you know. Okay, all right. So from there, then we go into the discussion. All right. I want you to come up with, again, this is solutions, okay? What are you going to do? All right. So what is the prospect of family support over the next couple decades? Okay. Do you think things are going to change? Are we going to come up with these multi-generational, just they call moais in Japan, these care communities where we help each other out? Okay. What about you? All right. What about your parents? Okay. So are your parents living alone? Or are you living with them? All right. Um, do you expect them to live at home alone until they die? Or are you going to live with them? Or are you going to have to deal with some type of facility? Okay. What is the culture of the family collective in you? All right. I think family collective is the future, where we basically bring together, all right, collect all of our resources, whether it's financial, whether it's time, and it makes life a lot easier. All right. So yeah, I want you to think about this and think about yourself as well. All right. The cool thing about multi-generational households is your parents can watch over your kids, okay, and then your kids and you can watch over them. So it's a beautiful thing. And we look at this kind of disconnect we have in our country because this is old school. This is the way it's been done forever in other cultures. And we can see it right here by going into this cultural diversity part. So what I did is I clicked right here, and this is part of your discussion. Where have we gone wrong? Basically, we look at caregiving and diversity, okay? And so this kind of goes through the cultural differences that we see in our country, okay? And we see that Asian Americans, okay, made less use of professional support because it's ingrained in their culture that the family and the extended family is going to watch after their elders. Whereas white caregivers, like I said, it's just this kind of collective arrangement has kind of dissipated. Obviously we're a mobile society too. You move away, so it's really, really difficult. Alrighty, this goes to socioeconomic status right here. Stuff to consider. Okay. Obviously the wealthier are, the more likely you pay somebody to do it. And that's what this is about. Okay. Because of the lack of kind of economic financial balance between the individual cultures and races. If you have this huge burden of caregiving, it can cause a decline in your health. Okay, so there's going to have to be this happy medium, guys. Anyway, so the other issue then is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender caregiving. Okay, oftentimes the traditional support of family is just different. Okay, these are called logical families, the friends, the networks that you find when you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. All right, so you actually have to create a support system oftentimes. Okay, and what are the pitfalls that are associated with this? Okay, rural caregiving. Okay, we've had this rural flight into urban centers. All right, I'll never forget way back when I first started dating Julie, and then we first moved in together. We'd go back and visit her grandparents, and they were in this really, really neat farming community in southern Illinois called Hoyleton, Nashville. We'd fly into St. Louis, and we'd drive a couple hours to get this part of southern Illinois. And when we first used to visit there in this little town called Hoyleton, there were three thriving churches, that all the communities go to because the family was still there. You had large families and the farms, et cetera, et cetera. then people started to flee and go to urban centers to get jobs and go to college. And during that time frame, I watched as one church closed, the second church closed, and then the third church closed because there was nobody there. All right. The people that remain, however, still have the same caregiving needs. So that's a huge issue. So this is what we want you guys to address in your discussion this time around. All right. Very cool, guys. All right. So that's it for this week, and we'll see what's on board next week. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at our weekly assignments. Okay. Um, all righty. So what is on board? So we're going to start dealing with some of the economic issues that play into all the issues that we talked about out here. All right. So we're getting down into the real nuts and bolts, the parts of preparation for you guys. And a lot of you guys are business majors, so really cool stuff about economics and business. And then we get into all the legal stuff as well for those of you guys that envision yourselves becoming lawyers someday. All right. So that's it, my friends. As always, I'm going to say peace, and we'll see you next time.